Be cool. I do stuff like this because they're fun. So I like to tear stuff apart, see how it failed, maybe why it failed. This pump has went through around 120 air ups of tires. Been kind of keeping track because it seemed like it was chintzy as hell. So wanted to see how she would break. And I've already disassembled a bit of her. And what we've got here, our mode of failure, is you've got a plastic shaft here that works the piston, and if you look, you've got tons of slop there. That originally was not a wallered out sloppy hoe. She started out the proper size, but now not so much anymore. Also, see the rocky back and forth here? This is a powdered gear, powder and press gear. Wrought iron gears and stuff like that are much better gears, but what you basically do with that, I hate that word basically, what the hell you do is you take a powdered steel or a powdered mixture. There's some metallurgy that can be mixed in there for different properties, but you put it into a press and you press it, and that's what forms this gear. It's a lot cheaper way than machining. Problems with that is, compared to a properly made gear, they are about 50% weaker on the teeth, about 30% more impact fragile. You can get by, you can, get a little bit better if you double press these, like press them. You press it into the mold and you press again. You get porosity or porousness inside of here. It's something similar that you get whenever you're welding and you got the bubbles in the MIG weld. But you get that in these teeth, and in the gear it kind of weakens it. But it looks like our mode of failure, the motor's been locking up, so as this warms up and gets hot, you get this gear being worn, offsets, probably raises up too. Looks like at one point there was a retainer here, and probably if I put the retainer back on, because I did not take that thing off, probably got wore, and from the twisty torquey of this gear wanting to slide up, probably wore it plumb through. She come off, and that's what's locking her up. The gear's getting somewhere kind of cantilevered out like that under the pressure, and it's locking her up. Another mode of failure on stuff like this is usually a switch. It's a little micro switch. I'll probably end up putting this switch on the saw over yonder. I've got an idea here. Focus, damn you. I've got an idea here of focus, using this as to indicate where the part location is. So the saw right now will raise, lower, clamp all on its own, or with using a handle. Something like this, I can let the pipe index to a certain point and then stop, set the switch location where I want, and I think that'll be a good way of completely automating the saw process, or getting that way. Anyway, if you get these, I didn't think 120 tire air ups, that wasn't from complete flat, but that was topping off the tire, adding 10-20 pound of pressure on it or something like that. Another interesting thing with this little doodad is this is a check valve, and what we have here is we have a spring and a rubber O-ring. On the other side of this we have a ball. Haven't had this thing out, but maybe she'll come out, maybe she won't. What that does is the stroke on this piston here, whenever she's pushing, it will override the spring here, let the air go in, and then whenever the pistons on this back side cycle here, you got low pressure here, this spring pushes the ball back and seats it against a ring here. What that does is that keeps the pressure in the tire while the thing's rolling along. But anyway, this quick tear downy thing, that's what's going to be the mode of failure. Is going to be this gear here. It's going to get wore. It's going to get cocked all kinds of sideways. Plus you're going to lose some of your stroke here as you wallow this cheap piece of plastic crap out. But you will get around 120, you know, times usage out of this for 30 bucks. I think that's more than reasonable. All right, later guys.